As I wind down to discuss the fourth and the fifth ruler for the doing five two-color rulers, Valentina, I'm going from weakest, what I thought was weakest, to strongest. I'm discussing, it's going to be a brief what to build, only because I already discussed the toolkit in every color, and I don't want to repeat myself. And so really, what I would say is, in this case, for Valentina, I am going for obviously blue-black, because Valentina is blue-black, and then I've chosen to add green-blue. And I think the choices have been similar to the shards of Alara, so this would be like a Grixis deck in Magic, although I think enemy color wedges are probably better. And I'll look at those at some point. Maybe also there is a build that's just pure blue-black, and that's all it is. So let's read Valentina. And by the way, I built a deck for some of these rulers, and was going to do a Lapis cube at some point, and then something happened, and I just put them all in a box. But now I'm picking them up, and now within a different context and a much broader context. All right, so Invading Demon of Water, Valentina. The judgment is very, very small. 1 blue-black. Whenever you play a water chant, target resonator gains -X. So chants slow your opponent's attack in water, and then in darkness they slow your opponent's defense. Okay, so I think having a lot of things with quick cast are going to help. And also, I finally remembered. It's really, and then I forgot it again. It's not haste. When your creatures in Magic, you can play them as at instant speed. It's called something else, and I'll remember it later. Okay, so I was trying to remember something, and then I forgot it again. Then when you flip it over, you may pay 1 less to play water darkness cards. So yeah, so they have to be water and darkness. Banish 2 resonators, choose 1. Draw a card or destroy target resonator. Yeah, that's nice. Very nice. All right, so one of the key cards, I think, for this deck is Mooch Dart. Okay, it's a flyer, 3/800/800, and other water resonators you control gain +200/+200, and other darkness also gain that. So imagine other water darkness gain +4/+400. That's really, really, really good. Banish a fantasy resonator. This card gains barrier, and I'll have to look into barrier. And then these are fantasy. So I've got 4. I'll discuss the fourth one last for a reason. Okay, so these are, when it enters the field, your opponent discards a card. When this card is put into a graveyard, you draw a card. Wonderful. Enters your field, return target resonator to its owner's hand. That would be your opponent's, I assume, but you can do it on your own. Its controller discards a card. Whenever this card deals damage to your opponent, draw a card. Your opponent discards a card. Good stuff. Fantasies. And then this particular fantasy is really all about tokens, and that's why I've got 2 token cards in here. And of course, we're going to have fire from blue-red. So banish this card. Put a token copy of target resonator token. These are cards that yield resonator tokens you control into the field. That's pretty good. So you've got this card on the field. Then you drop this, and you've got a 1,000 token. You banish it, and then you create a second copy. That's really, really good. When this card enters your field, put a 400/400 Water Darkness Fantasy Resonator token into your field. Very nice. And that's also a fantasy. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Then your blue-black toolkit from Legacy Lost. Quick cast, choose 1. If you control a water resonator and another darkness resonator, you may choose both. So they have to be separate resonators. So it's got another. Destroy target resonator or put a 400/400 Water Darkness Fantasy Resonator token into your field. Beautiful. More tokens. Remove a resonator from your from the game. Put a 400/400 Fantasy Resonator. More tokens. Beautiful. Change the target of target spell ability with a single target. Draw a card. The new target must be legal. Very good. This is very, very good. And it's quick cast. It's an instant. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go through the blue-red cards that I plot in here. You know, so all right. It gains +2/+2 for each chant in your graveyard. You're gonna have, you can have a lot more chants. You can have more chants than resonators in this deck because you're creating tokens with chants. So that's really good. Gains swiftness with fire. Gains flying with water. Very good. It's a 0/0. So you gotta have a lot of chance in your graveyard, and it can get pretty big. So this is a draw spell. So everything has to attack this guy. Okay. Whenever this card is dealt damage by a resonator, it deals that much damage to that resonator. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, because it'll kill things off. Very nice. Enters your field. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Put a chant among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Very nice. Banish this card. Put 2 mana counters. No, I don't want that. I don't think it fits this deck. I'm not doing mana counters. Okay, never mind. Swiftness, first strike. Switch, so it's a 6/2. It'll be a 2/6. Very nice. If you control a fire or a water resonator, you may choose both. Produce water, fire 1. Spend only to play ancient magic cards or target chant in your graveyard gains remnants. So I'm going to use the second one because, and I know I've looked at this. This theme, I don't believe, was fully developed, ancient magic. And I'll look into it further. But I remember when I was looking at building this cube, I don't know, a couple years ago, that really, it's really great for the remnant. Of course, there is a mythic rare in Innistrad that does this. It does it for all cards in your graveyard. But this does it for a chant. And it's a one-shot deal, but that's good. And it's ancient magic. So, yeah, so it's kind of, well, in the case of having 4 of these, this will allow you to, at least, because this is ancient magic, to chain these and do like 2 in a row. Yeah, so actually for this particular case, it's pretty good. Okay, so then, and I'm not going to discuss the black toolkit in detail. I'm only going to discuss a couple of cards that I think fit this deck. So your opponent pays 1 more to play activate abilities or resonators they control. That's great. Can't play activate abilities if you do CO8. A shadow. So now in this case, I'm really discussing, this is just typical toolkit. I've already discussed this card, but I'm putting it in here. So flash. Cards with flash in magic can be cast on your opponent's turn because they're an instant speed. Yeah, so that's what it meant, that other card that I was reading. Okay. Sorry about that. So this card gains +4/+4 with CO, and you can cast it for less because it's got extra beyond the color, the attribute will. And the same with this guy. And when you tap, you can banish a resonator, one of your resonators, and you destroy your opponent's resonator, total cost 3 or less. That's all right. And then this is just a good card, and I pulled so many that I'm definitely able to put 1 in each one of these decks. I don't know what's going to happen once I get to the final build mode, because when I start adding Alice and Grimm, the deck will evolve a lot, because it's just, as I've shown in the toolkit, the broader toolkit that was Alice and Grimm from before. There's a lot that I can add in here, and this is the beauty of this particular cube, and why I'm just going so fast and doing so much. It's just, I'm really enjoying it. It's really, It's all kind of coming together for me, which I love. You may pay one less to play chance, and I have a lot of chance in this. This deck is likely going to be, instead of like a 30-10 or 26-14 with 26 or 30 resonators, I'm guessing it'll work as a 20-20 because I'm going to have a lot of token generators. Yeah. Again, I'm going to use the Dorking, and of course, I'm not showing it here because I've got them, but I'm not showing it here. I'm on the three colors that have these types of cards, so I can really accelerate with this deck if I wanted to, which I do. Usual toolkit, broken toolkit, nice disruption. I've shown some of these cards before. Yeah, target resonator cannot be blocked until end of turn, and water chance. I've got a lot of chance. I will have. I'm not sure if I can play such a control game that I'll go into the late game, but if I can, this is pretty good because the first chance comes out free. That's pretty brutal if I can get that far. Okay, control toolkit, filtering, draw a card when something gets whacked. Turn one of your weak resonators into an 8/8 dragon. I like that a lot. Put the top card of your deck into your graveyard. If it was put into your graveyard this way, put a token, a fantasy resonator token. More tokens, very good. Again, just draw on tokens. Yeah, and chance. Alright, so that was a quicker way of going through Valentina because I have discussed all the colors, all the attributes by now and their specific toolkits.